Hey everyone, this is Mel, and it looks like I can always count on Supernatural to make me cry, and I am not a crier. Now this video covers the season 10 finale, that is episode 1023, titled Brother's Keeper, which aired May 20th, 2015. So it looks like the finale had set up the season 11 villain, and that is known as the Darkness, something that God had locked away in the form of the Mark. We learn the brief history of the darkness through death, just like how we learned about the Leviathans from him back in episode 701. There were actually a lot of parallels brought up in this episode. Like I said, the God lessons from death. Then there's Dean's attitude before walking to his death. He did something along the same lines back in episode 518 when Dean was ready to say yes to Michael. And Dean's attitude during this episode and that moment was mainly in the form of him leaving the Impala keys behind for Sam to find, as if knowing that he won't need them anymore. Dean punching the mirror is another parallel, but not from Supernatural. I found it paralleling another Dark Angel moment for Jensen, as he punched the mirror in episode 211 of Dark Angel when he played Alec. Now, brotherly sacrifice is another parallel in this finale, as it was in the season 8 finale when Sam is in the deadly hot seat. I do love when parallels are drawn in this show, as it shows patterns emerging in the characters. Now let's talk about the Winchesters' argument in front of Death. Since Death can't kill Dean or remove the mark without unleashing the darkness, and since Dean refuses to give the mark to another person, the only solution was Sam's death, because Sam would be the one that wouldn't stop until he cured Dean from the mark, and curing Dean meant unleashing that darkness. Now, Dean was okay with Sam's death as long as the darkness wasn't released, because afterwards, with Death's help, Dean was going to isolate himself somewhere where he couldn't harm himself or anyone else. Now, I actually thought that Dean would be sent to Purgatory as his own little isolation area, while there he could still feed the Mark's need for violence and yet not cause any harm to any humans. He'd just be reclaining monsters he's already killed. But during that argument, Dean brings up how he thinks he's evil and how he and Sam are just burdens on humanity due to all the evilness that follows them or that they accidentally release when trying to save one another. Dean brought up many instances that could be construed as evil, and I have to say there were many when said out of context. And it truly broke my heart to see Dean perceive himself as being evil, as being something he would normally hunt. Because Dean has always had good intentions, even when bad shit happens to him. I mean, it's understandable how you think the Mark has made him into a monster, in a sense, but the way Dean was saying it, he perceived himself human or with the Mark as being evil, and that hurt to hear, because Dean has always had good intentions, like I've said. So to see him thinking of himself as something else, it's not something I like to see. It's sad. And Sam doesn't like it either, as he argues that they aren't evil, that what they do isn't evil. And I have to say Sam is right, because the Winchesters have never taken joy in bringing pain to others, which is what I think evil is. Taking joy from other people's pain. But in the end, after punches were thrown repeatedly at one another, Sam agrees to be killed by Dean, and that's when Death brings out his scythe weapon, and that is when my tears started to form. At this point, all thoughts of season 11 are thrown out as I watch Sam say his goodbye to Dean, and how he wants Dean to take some old photos with him so that one day Dean could find his way back to being the man that was once Sam's brother. I am bawling at this point as Dean's trying to hold it together. But my tears were for naught when Dean used the scythe on Death himself. That surprised me. I had not expected Dean to kill Death, and by his expression, it looked like Dean hadn't expected it either. It seemed like the decision was a last-minute one on Dean's part. But now the question is, who is Death? Is there no Death anymore? I mean, Death has only been released back in season 5 by Lucifer, But before that, we don't know what Death did or how he went about his day or how he was even managed to still be Death while still locked away, or even how long he has been locked away, or what it means for him to be locked away to a point that Lucifer had to release him, or how he even operated before then. But now that he is dead, who takes on that head reaper role? Now going into this episode, I thought Dean may take the role as Death, but who knows, that might be a possibility. But as of right now, there is no Death. And unfortunately, Death's warning about the darkness isn't done fast enough, as Castiel, Crowley, and Rowena team up to cure Dean from the mark by using the spell from the Book of the Damned. I wonder if they know about the darkness being locked away by the mark's existence. It doesn't seem like Castiel does. Or maybe it was a myth on his part. But if Rowena knows, she doesn't care because she just wants her freedom. But Crowley's knowledge about it is up in the air. But during this part, Rowena's most treasured thing is revealed, and it turned out to be Oscar, a Polish son of the family that showed Rowena kindness 300 years ago. And to reward the family, she saved Oscar from his fatal illness by granting him immortality. Now, he needed to be killed for the spell to be done, but what I don't understand is how Crowley knew that the barista from the previous episode, the one who traveled around and made the best coffee, how did Crowley know that he was Oscar and not just another human employee that just traveled a lot and made great coffee? But Oscar definitely brought up more issues between Crowley and Rowena, as Oscar was proof that Rowena was able to love something except for the fact that she couldn't love Crowley, her own son, which is where the issue stems from. But Death's warning is for naught, as Rowena casts a spell that removes the mark from Dean. I believe the spell destroyed the mark, and in doing so, it released the darkness onto the earth in the form of red lightning striking the ground repeatedly, and then black smoke emerging from those spots, and having it all converge together. And the season ends with the black smoke consuming the brothers. Now, I can't wait to see what the darkness is and whose face it takes. Will it be like the Leviathans, and this massive black smoke is like the black goo that first emerged from Castiel? Does the darkness possess or infect others? And if so, are the Winchesters going to be affected due to being consumed by it? So many things could happen. And many fan fiction ideas are forming in my head right now. You couldn't even believe all the possibilities roaming through my head. Anyways, after the spell was cast, Rowena breaks free from her anti-magic chains, which I don't understand how she can, and she magically restrains Castiel and Crowley before she casts onto Crowley and walks away with the Codex and the Book of the Damned. So Rowena still lives, and she's with the book and its Codex. Crowley's life could end because of Cass, and the Winchesters are consumed by unknown smoke that is known as the darkness. That is how the season ends. And we can't forget how Metatron is in the wind as well, with a tablet. I believe it's the demon tablet. So there's that we have to worry about too. But all those would be answered when we return in the fall, and I can't wait for that. So where does that leave us for season 11? My predictions for that can be another reaction season for the fall of this season finale. Sam and Dean are going to have to find a way to identify and defeat the darkness, and I fear what that could truly be, or how bad it could truly be, if God had to seal the darkness away in the form of a mark. If Dean's manifestation of the darkness is only a splinter of its power, then we're in for some major trouble now that it's released among humanity. Now we have to see Metatron and the tablet again. Maybe one or both know something about the darkness. And we haven't seen the last of Rowena, that's for sure. Though I'm still curious as to why she wanted Crowley dead so badly. Is he a threat to her power? Does she want the throne to hell for herself? And will we see the Grand Coven of Witches again? Or was the Grand Coven leader being turned into the hamster all we're going to see of them? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. What did you guys think of the finale or of the season as a whole? what was your favorite part? I personally wish we saw a bit more of Demon Dean, or the power that Dean truly had because of the mark, because of all this build-up legend behind it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone listening in to this. It truly means a lot to me, and I hope you guys tune in next time, because I'm pretty sure I'll be back for season 11. It's definitely fun making these podcasts, I guess you can say, so I hope to continue the conversation with you guys. Until that happens, I hope you guys check out my other videos. I did a video covering the CW upfronts with my summarized version of next year's schedule. There's another video series of mine called Crazy Crossover City that you should check out, as well as it basically covers my own crossover ideas that I haven't put into a story yet, or I'm just starting to. But so far, Supernatural has been mentioned quite a few times, and I plan to include a lot more ideas of them in future videos, because Supernatural is like the default fandom I start with in regards to crossovers. I mean, a lot of my stories already posted are mixed with Supernatural somehow. So check out my channel for those videos, and my profile should have the link to my fanfiction profile if you want to check my stories out too. So don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment if you want to talk about any of the mentioned shows I cover, mainly Supernatural if you're watching this. But I'd love to just continue the conversation with you guys. You gotta fill up these next 4 or 5 months until the season 11 premiere comes back. And what I'm guessing is October. So until then, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye.